Hello, Gottfolk, and welcome to this showcase of my scenario GenieBs Heresy Europe. It's a scenario for Age of Empires 2 with the HD version of Steam, and it's a game of diplomacy on a map of Europe, simulating the wars of religion in Europe between the Council of Trent in 1545 and the Peace of Westphalia in 1648. I will showcase this and explain everything you need to know about the game while showing a replay testing this with some helpful friends of mine. So let's start. Here we see the map. It's a map of Europe with Spain in this corner, Italy, Great Britain, and Scandinavia, and so on. I'm at the moment playing as the Franks here in France, and we have all these other good people helping me. First I can say a little bit about the map, as it's as I said, Europe, and it's lots of things placed out here, as you see. And if you're the type who prefer to play a standard game with just a town center, 3 villagers and a scout, then I have a version of that too. It's been on the workshop quite a while now, so you can find it there and play that. But if you would like to try a more unusual start with all this stuff and a more historic setting, then I hope you'll enjoy this game. So, well, first I can say that the sound with this tribute we hear a lot will not appear in the game. You have the effect of it, but not the sound and the texture. We'll come back to that later. So, what's special to this game is that we have a few extra ways of winning. You can win by eliminating everyone, or building a wonder, keeping it for 200 years, or take the 5 relics. The relics are initially here in Rome, and one in Geneva, one in Wittenberg, and outside Moscow, Moscow being up here, and we have Jerusalem. So those are the 5 relics, as in standard. But we have 2 additional ways of winning, as I said. And then we have these flags. For this game to work properly, you need the convertible flags mod that I've posted, or published. But I will also make a mod specifically for this game that I will recommend to use when that's out. So, by going next to this flag, you get control of it, and then you can just wait a minute and get these rugs next to your flag here. So here I have a counter, and it might seem a bit scary, but if we look back here, we have a cross halfway hidden behind there, and then that's supposed to tell you that this is the line that is relevant to this flag. So next to this flag we see that player 1 has gained some rugs, and when he gets 6 rugs here, which will take 12 minutes to get, then he will gain a bonfire on top of it and start gaining stone. But when it comes to winning, if you do this for 2 of these flags, the other ones being in Belgrade, in Serbia, here in Balkans, and the third one here in Riga, inside the Baltic Sea, then you win the game. So if I should be able to go here from France to either by land or by sea into Riga and take control of this flag and keep it for 12 minutes, then I will win the game. Okay, so that's the second way of winning. You might notice that I'm working here on the side, explaining things and communicating with other players. As this is a game testing the scenario, so some of these are familiar with the concept, others are new to it. And for myself, I'm trying to play, but also busy watching how the others cope with this and explaining it. Well, then that was the first one of the additional ways of winning. The second one, as soon as one player is eliminated, a relic card will appear here on top of this sign, and the sign will disappear. And then if you keep this relic card, that is by walking up next to it and having none of the opponents who own the relic card at the moment next to it, you will get that relic card, just like a sheep, or maybe you're used to this kind of unit. So then you get this and you start gaining again rugs on this top line. And when you have 32, I believe, of these, well, that is 16 rugs after 32 minutes, then you again win the game. So yeah, so that's the goal of this. Win the game by either having hegemony, or as soon as this relic card gets into play, keeping that for 32 minutes, or one of the standard ways. Yes. Now I'll try switching to someone else to don't get this. Yeah, this worked. Yeah. Then, before I explain more of the triggers and the special features to this scenario, I'll tell a little bit about the factions here. So, as you might have noticed, me as the Franks, player 1, don't only control France, I also have the papacy and Scotland. And this is not the first game of diplomacy where one player plays as several historical factions, but as far as I've seen, most players distribute these factions according to culture rather than political situation. So that means that since I, through reading a lot of history the last weeks, see that France and Scotland have many similarities in their political interests, as well as France and the papacy, I put them into the same player. The same goes for England, with control of Ireland, and Portugal. And they also have, well, now I've thrown them out of France, but they had also Navarra and some Huguenot communities here. Still having some Calvinists here in Germany and in the Netherlands. So in this game, many players starts with some buildings or units inside other people's territories, and that's due to these factions that I'm trying to represent in the game, distributing them according to how I see them fit together politically. now I've gained the alliance with player 2, even though I just kicked him out of France. So seems like he's okay with that. Me still keeping a Catholic house here in Ireland. So then I've explained player 1 and player 2. Player 3, following the standard coloring, they play as the Turks or the Ottomans. They have the probably most powerful start, having lots of units, great army. Here we got it. I think they start with all of this. And also some defenses. They have now added this piece of wall, but apart from that it looks like, and here, it looks like it's much the same as what they started with. So they have some walls here, but only wooden, and towers. So this is the stronger point of defense for player 3, and then it's mostly open all the way down to the Sahara. And here we have Egypt. They also have some possessions here in Algeria, and into the building here a bit, into Sahara, representing Bornu or Shanghai. So that's player 3. Player 4 is Spain, and they have most of the Iberian Peninsula and some islands, and Sicily, Napoli, and here we have Milan and Genoa, and Franche-Comté, Netherlands, Belgium, or Spanish Netherlands. And they also got America, and I'll come back to that later. But we see that they have quite many places of interest. Yeah, also an outpost here. And most of them are very valuable, but will probably be hard to keep them all, unfortunately for them. Then to player 5, playing as Denmark, Norway, and Russia, as well as Brandenburg and northern Hessen and Wallachia. Haven't noticed this apparently. And they play as the Goths. Maybe I forgot to tell about the former. Franks, Portuguese, Turks, and yeah, actually an outpost here on Lesbos, Spanish. So here we have the Goths, and they play as, for example, here Denmark, Norway, having borders to the Hanseatic League and the Holy Roman Empire. Much army here at the moment. And yeah, is anything more to say about these? We see that they have both strong interests at sea with this Denmark, Norway, as well as strong interest on land, as these have no coastal line, only this sea of ice. Then player 6 is the Holy Roman Empire, and their core is here in Austria and Böhmen, but they also have this wall representing the concept of the Holy Roman Empire, the coalition, walling in the whole of the Holy Roman Empire with a fortified wall. And inside this wall, several, or everyone but player 3 has some interest, has some buildings, but to come in and or out of this area, they either have to destroy this gate or go into alliance or by sea. So the player 6 has some control on this. Now we just heard that player 7 starts building a wonder down in Morocco. So that's player 6. Yeah, then we come to player 7. Playing mainly as Venice is the plan, at least. Having the strongest start here, and also a very rich start. But the problem here is, as you see, it's not much space. Not any space at all. So they'll have to solve this in some way, and support it with their now ruined Hanseatic League alliance. And so here we have Bremen, Hamburg, and Lübeck, and that's where they start with their market. And in this corner we have the Teutonic Order, and we have been here before, as they have this flag here, giving them the hegemony in this area, even though they're pretty small actually. So yeah, so it might be difficult to keep this when meeting these two opponents. Now they lost their castle here, I see. And they also have some possessions in the Mediterranean, the Maltesian Order, and the Dawn Cossacks, and and we have the Mamluks of Egypt, and not least the Saadi dynasty. Now this is an area where player 7 only got a few mining camps and such to begin with, but our friend here chose to invest in this area, probably because here we have space to build actually. The other places being very small, very tight into other players. So even investing in a wonder. Now let's go for player 8, playing as having a battle here. And that's the end of player 4, I believe. Playing as the Polish and Lithuanian Commonwealth or Union. So they have fortress here, but apart from that it's more open. And there we have player 4 out. Now we can see that the relic cart has been placed out, and that's because player 4 is eliminated. And then player 2 has gained this relic card and will start gaining, as I mark out here, gaining rugs here. As soon as he gets 16 rugs next to this flag, he will win the game. Okay. So then the chaos might begin now. The war of the relic cards can commence, or the 30 Years' War, as I hope this can somehow simulate. Yeah. Additional to Poland, Lithuania, they play as Sweden, the Kingdom of Sweden, and the Safavid dynasty of Persia. So Persia not really being on the map, but giving them some space here, but walled out. Yeah. And that's it for all the 8 players. And then I can tell a bit more about the other systems here. Well, now we see that player 8 tries to take this relic cart. Unfortunately, he needs to take out this villager, and I think also the buildings here might need to be enemy of player 2. Not all sure about the conditions for taking a relic cart, but yeah, if you take out everything around you, you should at least get it. And well, then I come to this sound. we have it here, yeah. We see that I lost 10 pieces of wood. With some updates it should be doubled to 20. And the reason why I lost some wood here is that I have more than 1600 wood. So it's a limit to how much you can store of any given resource. So whenever someone gets more than 1600 of one of these resources, he will, and now that works for stone too, he will give periodically some of it to, let's say, the bank. So now the battle begins here. And it's also trigger working the other way. So if I have less than 120 wood or food, then only for these two, then I will gain some of that resource, just as a minimum wage, let's call it wage. And additional to, well, I said shortly that you gain stone from these flags, and that's the way of gaining extra stone, except for the mines. But there are also some ways to gain extra gold, except for the relics, not the relic cart, but the relics. So then we have America, as mentioned before. Here you gain gold equal to the value of 2 relics, as long as you have a castle on this island. And player 4 starts with this castle, so that's a pretty neat start. Oh, nice. Now I got a castle here, but not for long, I'm afraid. Getting interesting here. Taking out the villager, but still need to take these buildings, it seems. So that's America. Second one is the India trade, simulated with this tower on what's supposed to be the Azores, and we see this pile of food as a marker of yeah, something's going on here. So we have this place, and also here in Alexandria we see the same marker. So having a tower exactly on this spot should be a different type of terrain underneath. Then you can then you gain gold equal to the value of 1 relic. But it doesn't work if another player has a tower on the other spot. So yeah, so you need a monopoly of this India trade to really gain any gold from it. Not going very well for me, it seems. Being bombed everywhere. Yeah, so that's the India trade. What I've added with the 1.8 update, this is 1.6. The main difference with 1.7 is that everyone gets cartography. That was only for player 7 earlier. With version 1.8, I've done lots of small changes, but the bigger changes are the trade republics and the Holy Roman Emperor concept. The trade republics says that if you don't get a town center in northern Italy, then you take damage to all your trade units if you have more than 10 of those. Yes. And the Holy Roman Emperor system says that if you don't have a town center here in the core area of player 6, on this side of the Donau, or up here, then you will take damage to all stone-based defensive structures in most of Germany, excluding the Hanseatic League area here in the north. Yeah, and down here. So yeah, so if the Emperor is taken out here, then Germany will be more open, and as long as he has the monopoly of town centers in this area, he will have it will be more open for him in this area, as these defensive structures will fall, if any. So that's all the concepts, I believe. Now we see that, as I have the relic card here, not at all prepared for any war, then all these players come to attack me. So that's unfortunate, but quite natural. Okay, gods on their side, it seems. The gates have fallen, and I send forth the rams, building town centers in Germany. At the same time as we're fighting over this relic card, we also have Wonder in Morocco, finally completed. I thought it was 200 years, but obviously it's more. And here we have the flying dog. Challenging you to try to select it. And now I sent out the relic cards in order of making them go away. So now player 6 leaves with most of his armies or arms, but seems like player 5 has a vendetta against me, and yeah, player 8 even. What's going on elsewhere? I lost this castle, and here sneaking in, trying to bomb this Wanderer, it seems. Having problem with changing diplomacy. Not much help in this. Nice try though. And prepared some more here. Come on, come on. Way! And because of all the ways of winning, this game does not last as long as other games of diplomacy, where you have loads and loads of resources, and where the only goal is to take out everyone else. So in order to play this well, you should know the rules and or the triggers, and yeah, it's meant for you to change diplomacy yeah, often, or see to that you, that's mean, that you make good alliances and use them well, and see to that no one gains hegemony of two places. Now it's a danger here. Player 8 has this, and he's close at least to this flag here, with next to no defenses here in Riga. Down here we have still player 3, and the relic card is here, I believe. There. And we have the Wonder. When it comes to the relics, where are they? Yeah, 3 of those are here. We have 1 in Istanbul and 1 outside, vacant here outside of Moscow. So player 5 never made any monk, it seems. So now I have moved into Tunisia, trying to make a new life here with goats and 1 throwing X-Men to defend it all. How cute. And a new fleet coming up. Oh, and some cannon galleons. Trying to defend this. Pushing him back successfully. Yeah, we have some Portuguese upgrades for armor here. And he's lost the Azores, meaning that player 3 should get some gold now from Alexandria due to the India trade. Now we see a sneaky attack from Portugal. Exciting. Sending in the villagers to help. Oh. This looks good. On the last shot. Good job, Barnabal. Very good. So then this Wonder shouldn't be any problem, but we still have the relic cart now hidden behind here. The relics are not in one spot, but we also have the hegemony. So and now they have this flag. So now it's just a matter of a few minutes until he will win the game. Player 7 is now moved up into Finland and Novgorod. Yeah. Dealing with the relic cards. Attacking everyone here. Or the hegemony of orange. Player 8. Mr. Sheden. So this is interesting how or is supposed to make the game interesting, how a player as the 5th in score has a chance on winning the game, and there he does. Yes. So that's the game of mine, this GenieBs Heresy Europe. All I said is also to be found here in the objectives menu, and also some brief information about the factions here and the scouts, and I think I'll add the relics here and some quote here. Nothing is as dangerous for the state as those who would govern kingdoms with maxims found in books. Cardinal Richelieu, the most handsome man of that time. Or yeah, if you know him, you might know might not be so handsome. Well, before ending this showcase, I would like to show you my entry on Steam. So jumping over here, here we have GenieBs Heresy Europe Diplo with the map and some pictures from the game, mostly from the start of the game, but also a few from games played. We have some war in Netherlands and Spain. The system of the flags or the relic cards, and this picture. Everything explained here, mostly just the same text as in the game. And I've added also a version for 4v4 and one where everyone's enemy towards each other, free for all. Better game if you want to play it in single player, but the AI don't cope with this very well anyway, so I recommend you play this with multiplayer or on multiplayer. So yeah, hope to have your feedback, and smile to the flying dog. And here we have some nice feedback from Fnkee. More woodlines make North Africa more exciting. I don't know, great work. Thank you, Fnkee. And make YouTube channel, so that's what I'm working on now. Yeah, and when it comes to North Africa, I didn't show you that, I believe. Then I have to go here. Here we see the Sahara, and that it's quicksand instead of this sand desert. So we can't build in the desert. And I hope that makes the game more, or Africa more exciting, making it work like a sea for land units. Yeah, and with that I think I'll end this video, and I hope to see you in this game. Hope you'll enjoy this scenario and find it intriguing. If you prefer a game where you have huge armies and can hide in a corner collecting lots of resources, then this might not be your scenario. But if you would like a game with lots of conflicts and always something going on, and with a more historic theme, then I hope you'll enjoy this game. Also, when it comes to the conflicts, I'm adding another concept that I'll probably publish in a few weeks, and which I hope will make the game really interesting, all from the start. Yes. So again, thanks for watching then, and see you around.